And for anyone who is claiming to be a professional, if you are providing a service and you are not 100% honest, and you are taking money upwards in hundreds into the thousands to provide this service, I'm going to give you a little bit of a warning. People are not dumb. People are getting smarter. And you really should reconsider whether you want to continue to do that. If you are not willing to invest in your skill, how much investment are you really going to be putting into your clients here? What has your experience been with your lock or microlock journey? What has your experience been?
So my experience has been a roller coaster. It's been challenging to say the least.
So what problems or challenges did you encounter in your experiences with your hair and your service providers?
So the challenge was that they not being on the same page as me. I didn't know anything about Microloc Mastery at this point. So all I know was I wanted small locks. I didn't want the big locks. The individual that I found that said they did microlocks ended up giving me braid locks, which was not what I was looking for. I told her that's not what I'm looking for. I mean, I went to a consultation with her. I told her what I wanted. And on the day of the install, it was something completely different. And she used the same, phrase like, oh yeah, trust the process and everything. It was not what I wanted it to be. We did a consultation, picked out a size, what we wanted and everything. And then day of the install, it was a completely different thing that was put into my hair. Size was not the same. She did say that this is what she does. She does micro locks, and this is in fact, I told her, she just said, trust the process. It's going to grow into it. It's going to bud. I just knew from the day of install, that's not what I wanted. When I came home, I immediately told her, and can we fix it? And then she said, no, we just got to give it time. I came home, I took pictures. So I was like, no, this is not the size I want. Can we fix it? And mind you, this is just braids. And then she used a crochet hook to just do one hook there. Just give it time to do its thing. That was her explanation.
I've never heard of anyone professionally doing that. I'm learning that people are doing these things. So that's interesting that you said that, because that's not something that was done before. So I'm not sure where that technique came from. So when did you start realizing that it not only was it not what you wanted, but that it probably wasn't done correctly?
The very instant when it was done, and as soon as it was done, it was styled. I came home, I looked at my back, I took pictures, and I immediately saw that it's not the size I wanted. And I emailed her right away to let her know that's not the size I wanted. That's not what's what agreed upon, and everything. And then she said, just give it time. But then I realized that I couldn't keep spending money on something I didn't like, because when I went back to her, she was still charging me for Microloc an egregious amount of what she was claiming to be something that it wasn't. And so I ended up taking it out because it was just braids. And then when I would go back to do a retightening, and then she was like, yeah, it's going to lock. At this point, I didn't really know a whole lot about, interlocking. I'm not, I do hair. I'm not professional braider, but I've been doing my hair for a long time. So I know that it's not what I wanted from the beginning. And I think that for some part of me just wanted to just give it the benefit of the doubt to see if it would turn out. But as time went on, I just realized I didn't like it.
There's just several things that are problems that I think you now know, right? Going in, the first of all, the foundation wasn't done in any professional way. It was something that it sounded like someone made up, probably to make it easier for them without having to get a real official training. I know you've learned something about that.
Yes, because I've done myself. I knew that in the end, it's going to create a split in my hair.
Mhm.
That's how I know that I can't keep doing that. That's not what I want. I can't keep investing in it because it's not going to change.
So that was Frida, our Microloc Mastery Certified Pro, sharing her experience. I think it's really important to remember certification matters. Certification matters because It shows that there are standards that have been met. It shows that there's an investment that actually has been made by that pro to receive the foundational education and um, also have their work compared to it. And our certification process is ongoing. So, upon initial completion of our program, we have certification points where you have to submit your work and continue to show that you're upholding these standards. So, Microloc Mastery Certified Pros are our top notch, creme de la creme, motivated individuals, and you will be getting the best in a Microloc Mastery Certified Pro. The foundation of Microloc Mastery Certification is one of solid foundation. So, absolutely great to have her on board. You can contact Frida at this information here on our Microloc directory at microlocdirectory.com. She's in the Maryland area. You can contact her, reach out to her, make your consultations. She also provides online consultations as well. And she's just completed our Microloc Mastery Extensions course. So if you are interested receiving consultation for that or going forward with that service, you can also contact her for that as well. This message is for potential clients who are looking for a pro, who do not want to be scammed, who do not want to be misled, deceived. There are some things that you can, there are some questions to ask, general questions that can give you an insight on just how much knowledge this pro has and if they really know what they're talking about. So I do not want you to feel like you have to go to the Wild Wild West trying to figure out if someone is credible, if someone truly can provide the service at the level that you are seeking. And for anyone who is claiming to be a professional, who has not invested in formal training, a credible training, I mean, particularly Microloc Mastery Certification Program, but ongoing in keeping your certification ongoing, if you are providing a service and you are not 100% honest about the level of skill that you have, the quality of service that you will be providing, and you are taking money upwards in hundreds into the thousands to provide this service, I'm going to give you a little bit of a warning. People are not dumb. People are getting smarter. And you really should reconsider whether you want to continue to do that. If you are not willing to invest in your skill, how much investment are you really going to be putting into your clients here? Are you more invested in getting quick cash, or are you more invested in building a sustainable, strong business with a foundation of honesty, integrity, and professionalism? Or are you trying to go and just grab money? Because that is where I start to get not only me, but plenty of other people who have made the investment or who do value professionalism. You start to get us a little bit hot. So I would recommend anyone who is, there's many reasons why people say they do what they do and they don't really have the training. And I know a lot of those reasons. I've been in this for a long time. I know a lot of people start saying that they know how to do a service that they just started hearing about, that don't, if you haven't done the research in the origins of that service and how it, the standards of it, number one, it's already an issue. So what are you providing? Are you providing techniques and methods that you've watched a DIYer do that doesn't have the formal training? Because when you start doing that, you're not no longer in the realm of professional. You're in the realm of a copycatter or someone who is trying to provide a service that you don't really have the knowledge for. Because if you do have a knowledge and foundation, at least in the basics of this industry and techniques, and you would know that those techniques aren't sustainable. And those techniques came out of an amateur DIY movement, largely started by YouTube and YouTubers, and you are now charging money. So you are basically, it's very, very much fraudulent and very much scammy. So I would suggest that you invest in a training. And you know when information is solid, a training program that's founded and started out of standards, but also run and administered by pros. You've been doing this service for, I would say, a minimum of a decade. Um, when I started Microloc Mastery, I'm over 15 years providing the service as a direct service, creating standards, creating techniques and innovation, adhering to those standards, promoting those standards, and creating innovation in techniques and methods that'll sustain those standards and further refine them. So there needs to be a real solid foundation, and not just someone that says, I know how to do this and I'm going to give you a training program. That's not necessarily a credentialing program. That's just you learning a technique from someone that took money from you and taught you what they created. Where is the foundation and the basis of it? I get very, 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 very upset about people that do that, because it could have been someone like me many years ago who trusted I was going into a professional chair. And I'm not gonna stop advocating for that. So I will not be highly liked by those people who are trying to scam. And that's fine, but I don't want to be liked by you. I want you to respect the profession and respect the people that you're serving and get yourself together. And that's what I'm gonna say. I welcome aboard all Microloc Mastery potential certified pros and licensees who are demonstrating ongoing consistency in their certification, ongoing yearly. These are people I will vouch for and advocate for. And these are people, if you really want to avoid a lot of this nonsense that Frida had to deal with, then a good place to start would be Microloc Mastery Certification, created to address this very issue that is now running rampant in the industry. I saw it years ago. I saw it as it was evolving. I saw a lot of the misinformation. And then those people started coming into chairs like mine and other pros who did have a solid foundation. And we had to do a lot of correction work. And now what's happening is that a lot of the pros are not doing that anymore. No longer are many people doing corrective work, doing restorative work, doing rehab work on work that was done poorly from the beginning. So it is going to be an issue if you are faced with someone who does this to you and you are trying to get it corrected. You may potentially run into a lot more problems. And those who are willing to correct it may likely charge you a lot of money. And you also have to know that they really can correct it. That's my piece for today. Thank you very much. I look forward to everyone joining. Anyone who wants to ask questions, wants to come on board, I look forward to having you. Feel free to reach out. The information you see on the screen and the information in the description. And also join our platforms, get our information. There's a ton of free information. At the very least, grab this free information and use it to help you, whether you are a potential client, an existing client, a potential pro, or one who is saying you're a pro. Grab this information and make sure that you are getting the best information. Some red flags to be aware of. Okay, so those claiming to be pros that some people are encountering. So the first red flag is if there's somebody they're just primarily DIYer, there's not really an established business. They don't necessarily have a lot of formal training at all in hair. Not to say a DIYer can become a pro, but there's a few other things combined, which would be something you want to look out for. Okay, so you want to see that they are at a professional capacity legitimately if you are looking for professional quality work. So if they don't have any formal training, like if they're just strictly YouTube trained, or kind of like I just figured it out. If you're looking for professional quality, it can be a red flag. Okay, so you want to make sure it's from a credible program. Additionally, they are resistant to continuing education. Anyone that's resistant pushes back. I know everything. I don't claim to know everything. I also know that I stay in the lane of what I'm good at, and I refer out to those who have the skills that I don't have, especially in an area of coloring and really refined, I tell people the styles and things that are more advanced. That's not my forte, and I don't want to pretend, and I'm not going to take the money from someone if I don't know how to do it well. And neither would a real pro. Or they're not receptive to questions and needed clarity. So you might ask a question during the process, and I'm not talking about someone that's badgering their pro, but a general question like, okay, something to just give you some clarity so that you feel comfortable. Obviously, you'll know what's appropriate to ask. I want to ask a professional, tell me step by step every exact thing. But if you have a question about the hair care, the maintenance of it, you know, they should be able to answer it or give you clarity that's sufficient for for you at that point. And so I hear a lot that people try to ask questions to pros, especially as they're in the process of receiving nightmare services. They start asking questions and they get, no, 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 just trust the process. No, don't worry about it. Don't worry. No, I want you to feel good if you're my client. I want to let you know, I know you're probably concerned about X, Y, and Z. That is a part of the process. Or this is some things you can expect. Don't be alarmed. Or be alarmed if you do see X, Y, and Z, because that is not a part of the process. Those are the kind of responses you want in any field. But if you're getting a lot of pushback and you just don't feel right about it, it might be a red flag. You might want to consider, um, you know, what that's about. Or if they do not have an extensive portfolio of work or for an extended period of time, that's not necessarily a red flag. Many people have to start from somewhere. But if it's someone charging you $1,000, 800, like the competitive rates for a service, and they don't have enough to back that up, you don't see them really online, you don't see their work, or you don't really have enough, then that could be a red flag. And even if they don't have an online presence, which could happen, that's fine. Do they have any other way for you to be able to vouch that their work actually, and for a long term, not just for a grid, for a spectacular even parted grid with a pre-washed install, talking about hair that's been in someone's hair for years, ideally. um, do you see some of these things that really say, yeah, this is the method that's going to give me the result? I can see their work. Those are some things that these are pulling out of the conversations over the past decade plus of people who have started having nightmare experiences more and more recently within the past 5 to 8 years, with a lot of people skirting around getting a formal training or not being able to find a formal training. So some questions that you should ask, and I want to ask whoever is watching and willing to answer. If you're not, it's okay. If you want to answer on a replay, but I want to ask you, would you feel comfortable paying someone what's equivalent maybe to your rent, 1 month's rent, if they were not formally trained or trained somehow in some like effectively trained, where you can really say that their skills are going to give you the results? Would you feel comfortable giving someone that amount of money? You could let me know. You can think about it, but I know my answer would be no. And I know a lot of people care about their money. A lot of people do their research, but there's sometimes I just it's people flip through the cracks and they end up investing a lot of money into something or someone, and not and realizing that that didn't give them the results, and then they become, it's devastating, especially right now. So first question I think you should ask, who or what, yeah, no, I see a Facebook user saying no, who or what formal entities, that's a person, a place, a business, some credible person, can endorse your work? Is there are you being, I don't know, trained? That's just a question you can ask. You don't have to. If you already know the answer, you don't have to ask them, because you already know they were referred to you by another stylist who knows work is really, really good. People don't make referrals to people usually that they don't feel are going to provide a good service. So usually a referral alone is a really good thing. When was the last time their work was reviewed if it wasn't coming through the referral way? There's things that are happening where you get a one-off training maybe a couple of years ago, and because of the way the market's moving with some fads and trends that maybe now are not, as professionals, sometimes people will do those things as well in their business, and if their work is not on an ongoing basis reviewed, you could get someone that, yeah, they were certified or trained, but now they're providing techniques that aren't necessarily proven or going to get the best results. Actually, this happened a lot. And that's one of the reasons why some of our people didn't go through recertification, because They wanted to the foundation wasn't steady, and they wanted to kind of still get money from where they can. So if their work was reviewed and they had that ongoing support, and they were like, you know what, I want to stay current and professional, make sure I'm providing services, not just moving with trends that aren't going to give the best results, then they will have that endorsement and that support because their work is being reviewed on an ongoing basis. Yeah, and this person's right. Most of your clients are by mouth and people seeing your work. Absolutely. So that holds a lot of weight. That holds probably the most weight. It's always been, even with technology now, it's always still one of the biggest forms of um, client acquisition. You call it getting clients and growing your business. So let's go to the next one. When was the first client? And again, it doesn't mean that they have to have a seasoned portfolio to be good. They can be new. They can but these are good questions if they're charging you seasoned pro rates and their first client was last year. So you want to ask them. And also it'd be great if you can see the progress of some of those people. Yeah. Going back. What feedback do your clients have for you? Are your clients have you heard good things from the clients? Have you seen in threads people are really raving about their work? That's great. That's what you want to see. What is the training program that issued your certification? That's going to be key going forward as programs grow, evolve, get more credentialing, accreditation, all these different things. As it's going to be really important to know that how to decipher between anybody popping up a Microloc training versus one that is solid. Best to see, put up your certificate to show you're doing classes. Yep, ongoing continuing ed. And actually that is one of the points. How credible is that program? Who's it backed by? How many students has they trained? What are the students doing? What foundations is that program based on? Etc. Do you receive ongoing support? So if they have some problem that they may have difficulty handling, that they've encountered, maybe a repair job, some problem, are they going to be able to get the support? Do they have a mentor? Do they have a community they can tap into to get some support to handle that the best way? And how do you determine your prices? Like, what justifies their prices? Why are you charging me $1,500? Like, if you don't want to ask, if it's not asked that way, it could be in your mind, you're trying to find justification. Oh, because they're actually a licensed cosmetologist. Oh, because they have all this experience. Oh, that will justify. And they provide this technique. I tell people a few factors that really help them be able to up their price or maximize their pricing is their formal training in related. So licensed cosmetology is always a bonus. That shows that they put a lot of energy, effort, and money. But also, do they provide reattachment? Do they provide? And so those are the things that my team and I were doing, like a lot of repairs for a lot of clients, and she just kind of she worked in different places, and she came back and said, we got to up our prices because there's somebody charging twice as much and they don't even know how to reattach, repair, extend, do extensions. Like, we were doing all these things many, many years ago. And it was just like, those are the factors that why people were coming to get those things. You got to make people who do those things will charge accordingly because they know that they're adding something very valuable, something that's very desired. And so that would justify prices. And especially if it's stays in, it's long, they have long-term clients to show. When I say long-term, I'm thinking a decade. At least around a decade of this particular service that you're getting, especially if it is in the realm advanced work that you're dropping at least $1,000 on. I didn't show you all of the clip of Frida, but she does go into when, like I said, when she tried to go back and ask questions about why that was being done in her hair and the resistance that she was getting. And then she knew some information. She said, I know a little something. Like a lot of people, we know a little, how to braid, maybe how to do some DIY, some crochet, lock, whatever. She knew enough to know that that wasn't going to get the outcome. She also, in the detail video, just talked about the second person attempting to add hair to the front part because it was I don't know, it was messed up from the first install, but it wasn't long enough. So they were doing a technique to put hair in, and she knew right off the bat, because of her background being African and knowing braids and extensions and things like that. She said that's not even going to be a lock. So I knew right away after it was done that that wasn't going to give the results. So there's some basic things you might already know. There's some things that you it's not so clear. So having all these things in place will help. um I want to ask also, oh, so Microloc Mastery Certified are our pros. But I want to ask you, have you ever had a bad job done, a bad hair job done, uh, a poor install or poor repair work or something? Have you ever had a bad experience and what that was like, if you care to share? Um, so I don't do as much, but I did some virtual consultations, and people would set up a consultation to repair work that had been done. A lot of it was extension work, which I'm getting ready to put out a free extension training, y'all. Just stay tuned. It's about to be this week. I'm just trying to get it plugged in. And it was just some things that I could easily set for free that shouldn't have been done. But now they've already paid. Once one person paid $1,200 once, she paid $1,000 for the hair. Then she paid somebody else to do it again for the second time. And then she was about to, and then I quoted her, and it was just so much money. And so the people get frustrated, people get emotional. So I just, want to ask, okay, so I see some comments here, and I'm going to cut off the IG. Okay, knowledge is also letting them know how to take care of their hair, teaching aftercare when leaving your chair. Your clients love what they, I can't read. So your clients love what that you to teach. Oh, Lord. Okay. I'm deciphering that your clients will love that you teach them after they get their hair done what to do, after they get out of your chair, and that they feel it's worth the money because you're giving them attention. Absolutely. It's more than just I'm doing the service blindly. I'm gonna let you know how you can maximize this service, how you can maintain it to its best ability. That absolutely is something I feel is important. So that's why I said if you get any resistance, usually for my mental health psychology Kaplan, it's because someone doesn't feel confident in what they're doing, and they don't want you to ask them questions because they don't want their spot to be blown. Like, you feel very uncomfortable if someone asks you a question you don't have an answer to. But instead of trying to feel like you have to be perfect, I think people appreciate transparency and honesty. So if you're honest from the beginning, no one can get as upset because it's like we went into this agreement together knowing I knew everything, you told me everything, and I made a conscious decision to give you my money knowing this, versus, wait a minute, I thought I gave you money under the impression, now I'm asking you, I realize you don't. That's a whole different experience. It's okay, you were typing fast. But yeah, I got what you meant. And that's how and see, even if there's a pro that's like, I don't, they're not, you don't have to share everything you invested. You don't have to say, well, this is how we do. No, but it's a feeling you get, a feeling that you are going to get the support you need, that you're being guided correctly. You can see the end result, that the person is still receptive to you, um, supportive of you, having questions or feeling a little anxiety, those kind of things to just help you feel reassured and not a fake, oh, it's okay, just trust. Because that trust the process phrase became extremely popular after a while. And I did a video called Trust the Process. I realized, because again, I stepped out of the YouTube streets many years ago. I get in, but I saw I see the themes, and I was like, no, let me do another video called When to Trust the Process and When to Be Concerned, because you cannot just rely on that. And that be the only, okay, I'm fine, yeah, I'll trust that. I see that what's happening looks crazy, but I'll trust it. It was more of arming people with knowledge and education and guiding them and helping to anticipate potential things that might cause them to feel a little anxious, but to tell them that it's a part of the process. And part of the process is that, yeah, it'll look fuzzy, but not your hair not unraveling and staying that way. And if you notice the comments I made in the video, I hear people say that a stylist has told them, just it'll lock on its own. It will evolve. It's not magic. Yes, hair locks. We're guiding it, but it needs guidance. Otherwise, it could lock in a very undesirable way, very detrimental way, even. So it's skill combined with allowing a process to evolve. It's those two things combined. I'm gonna close out by saying the one of the main reasons why I even hey, come on, computer. Why I even wanted to create a directory is to put pros together. And I'm so stickler with it that yeah, it may not be a whole bunch because I'd rather people not see quantity but see quality. And it will grow because there are people vying to get on this now, submitting work, and we check it. We're going to make sure that you do have at least a place where work is checked, not by just me, but by a team of people who know exactly what to look for. So I just wanted to plug that. I know people have gone to it. We used to have a lot more pros, but again, we did a recertification process. And I feel that if someone is invested in doing this and they want to maximize their investment, they would continue to demonstrate those high professional qualities. It would be nothing. It would be like, sure, yeah, every year. See my work and it'd be getting better and better, and they'd be getting more and more features. But when someone shies away and they're like, I want to do, I want to throw some braids and call them extend, like things like that, where it's problematic for me to refer people because I'm not sure what you're going to give them. That's one of the biggest complaints that people have. So I don't know what somebody's going to do to my hair now because it's such a convoluted market. It's a highly unregulated, well, for now, where it's just people just saying anything. But the thing is, I think what we can do is give education, tell people what to look for, and then you can start demanding from pros and the people who made investments. They need to be highlighted. They need to be shown, given easy access for people to connect with them. So I can't wait to take your natural hair care. Licensing is and teaching license is dope. I love it. I love to hear that. Well, we're always here. We're still a family, even if you are part of our free family, like our community. We're still family and still want to provide support. And yes, sometimes we got to be like this with each other because I'd rather sometimes say something that's not super popular for people who are trying to scam and having the back of people who are putting money out than just be coasting and flowing in the wind and having people constantly hit up me and other pros to fix stuff. I'd rather it be a place where people can know, at least I feel like this information is going to be helpful and me getting at least what I want, hopefully, as opposed to just. So I know a lot of things I say, but that's me. I'm by profession a licensed therapist, as well as doing this and creating and pioneering a whole bunch of microlocs as well because of my own journey. So I speak a lot from the person's perspective and from the pros perspective. Pros are out here killing it, y'all. Pros are really investing. Frida was one person. There's many people. I see them. They write. They enroll. They have a lot of motivation and drive to do well, and so they also should be given a space with people know who they are. And so you don't have to, yeah. These are, if you're not already on, I am streaming on a few of these platforms. I just always like to say, stay connected. I have some, we're always putting some things out. We have boot camps. I'm going to get ready to announce the next boot camp. That's one of our lower cost options. We also have the free group. And occasionally we do free mini trainings like this. Sometimes I might do a free longer training. And it's just more opportunity to get more information and get connected with some pros that are out here doing it. And I think that is the last slide. Yep. So last slide. You're welcome, Tina. And I cut off IG because IG needs to get in the group. If you're not already in the group, you can join the free Facebook group here at the bottom. It says freemicroloctraining.com/join. And Microloc Mastery is the YouTube that's dedicated to Microlocs. I have another YouTube called Jessica Marshall. A lot of people are on there, but if you get on Microloc Mastery, you could. It's going to just be exclusive Microlocs, Facebook and IG. And we also have TikTok. Bear with me because I have too many things going on with TikTok. I have like 4 TikTok pages, but I do post stuff on TikTok that makes tracks about just little snippets of what we talk about. Stay tuned for I'm putting out a few more videos on. I'm going to get a clip of what Frida was just talking about and something she said that helped her get through that. That could be helpful for other people. And then we're going to talk about the thinning locks. I have some more information to share about that. And every Monday around 3, we go live at Ask Me Monday. If you want to ask a question, you can wait. You can wait till I go live, or you can send a message. Any of these platforms, inbox any of these platforms. You can email us. I'm not making it in one particular place. Just send a message, and I'll add it to the queue. All right.